Hey, we're live.
Hey-o.
Hey!
We'll go around the... I was going to say we'll go from right to left and then everyone's just fucking moved where they were on my screen.
So, we do it to confuse you.
Yeah. Thanks.
What's right to left in your screen? What's Scotland right to left?
Well, we don't do right to left. We don't do right in our country, to be honest. We just do wrong and fuck you. So, Blaine, you're up first. Introduce yourself while I share some links out.
Nothing really to share. I'm Blaine from Appalachian Pie. Check out my podcast if you get the opportunity. We're carried just about everywhere you can find it. The whole concept behind it is to kind of turn the stereotype on its head, present you with people that you may not have even considered being part of Appalachia or anything. Otherwise, do a little bit of work with some audio dramas that we're all involved in at this point. And yeah, kind of moving forward and getting my feet a little bit wet in the writing side as well.
Nice,
yeah. Martinez, you're up next.
Hello, I'm Chris Martinez. I'm Chief Creative Officer of Boat Fight. It's a crazy podcast, and got a new story out on Amazon called Dusty. Pick it up.
Nice. Got a really cool wanted poster.
Yes, it does. It does. 3 of them are right here on this call.
I'll confuse the audience by saying, Todd, you're next.
Okay. Todd Brown, also as a writer, T.W. Brown, and then, of course, on Audible as Kenneth Obie, where my specialty is as a writer, the horror genre, specifically zombies, and in narration, I'm slowly becoming the king of male-male romance. And that's pretty much all I'm doing right now. It's all I have time to do. So getting ready to do a couple things with some new audio dramas, new seasons coming up for Orchid Grove and Tangent City. And maybe one of these days eventually guest my way onto every podcast that is part of this network. So those are my ambitions for the upcoming couple of years.
I guess that leaves me.
Yep.
I'm Steve Sandwich from the Ranting and Raving podcast. We'd like to yell and make jokes about movies and sports. Yeah, and I'm with you guys a lot. So good to be back.
Yeah. Well, it's probably not the best claim to fame as you're with us a lot. To get you in trouble.
Found that out pretty damn quick. Thank you, guys.
So,
It certainly can be a hindrance at times.
definitely. Yeah, Christ.
Hey, I wanted to start off with a question, and actually it's directed towards Blaine. Can I find you on places like TuneIn, Stitcher, and everything else like that?
Yes, sir. Just about any place that carries.
Okay, because I've got TuneIn connected through my Sonos and everything else like that, and I'm trying to get into more listening to you guys and listening to stuff. I'm pretty much done with commercial listening. So I wanted to make sure that I could find you on like TuneIn and everything else like that. So okay, good.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I'll shoot you some links too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that would be great because having that on throughout the house, it's just better to pass the time that way. And also, I'm all about supporting anybody that's part of the TFAU. So
nice.
Yeah.
Love it. I just found out we're on iHeartRadio too. That was a nice surprise.
Wow. Oh, when did y'all pull that?
I don't know, because we have a shit show, so I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, it's not like you're professional or anything.
No, absolutely not. I must not have been doing this for years.
All that non-advertisement on that other station you were on really paid off.
Yeah. But don't worry about it, because we're not talented and we have a shit show, so we're going down.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I'll be the judge of that one of these days.
Yeah.
I think I was on iHeartRadio for like 2 weeks.
Oh, who'd you
And
piss
like
off in
the
that
guy
amount of time? Oh, why did it take you that long to piss somebody off in the first place?
Yeah, I think they actually eventually listened to one of my programs, and they went, "Yeah, we're not having him on."
Yeah, we can't do that. Excuse me, Mr. Carson. You say the C word far too much for us.
He's been saying these people that are getting accused of being paedophiles are paedophiles.
Oh no!
That's terrible.
That's terrible. We can't have that.
Yeah, how
lightning.
When was the last Twitter ban, Drew?
The last Twitter ban, I sent a meme of the Prime Minister to her political party. It was done like the poster for Reanimator. It was making fun of Brexit, and they didn't like that, so they banned for that. You'd think though that your government couldn't ban you from their Twitter page, because then how are you supposed to get information on how they're governing you?
You've learned their dark secret. You're not supposed to have any information.
Yeah.
God. Also, apparently, it's kind of frowned upon if you go on someone like John Travolta's Twitter page and question some stuff about him.
I don't see how that's possible.
Not if you do it privately, allegedly. I heard that's what he liked. Allegedly.
I heard he's a big fan of those books that narrates.
Or if you're just in a gym at 4 a.m.
Allegedly.
Good Lord.
I'm not saying he's a cock grabber, but
Wait, did you say cock grabber or butt?
Yeah, that too.
either way.
We'll just say yes.
So, what?
Did you see the Gotti movie he was in?
Oh my God! Yes, we
Was
have
it-
to do a commentary of that.
Oh God. But take it, I shouldn't watch.
Oh, you
I want to do it like a Mystery Science Theater episode.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's the only way to get through it.
And for every moment he overacts, you have to take a sip of like a beer or something.
Oh.
Jesus.
You get trashed.
15.
We don't all have your lack of a liver.
You don't
There's
need
just
one.
There's just a void where Drew's liver used to be.
Yeah, you don't need one.
Either that or Scots are born with two.
Like cow stomachs, they've got 8 livers.
Yeah.
It's like a camel. There's one on his back.
One processes just a little bit, so none of them get overworked.
Yeah. It's pretty much why our life expectancy is like 35.
Right, like it was in the 1800s.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're still living with the 1800s philosophy of how long you should live.
Yeah.
Drew's an old man in Scotland.
Yeah.
He's getting
They
his
got rid of
senior
smallpox,
citizen.
just not the barrels they drink.
Down south, when you get to 100, you get a letter for the Queen. If you make past 36 up here, you get one. You know what I mean?
They're like, wow, look at him. He's an old timer.
And he's got all his teeth.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure those are partials.
Most. He's got some.
It's okay.
Oh, God. I know why we don't do this all the time now.
No focus.
Good Lord.
I think Drew's trying to give us some focus. I heard him say so a couple of and then
We're
I
here to off.
But so is my polite word for Christmas time. That's where I usually throw the C-bomb in.
You're getting soft.
Yeah, I'm getting soft.
It's the holidays.
I'm getting unprofessional in my old age. So, what's been everyone's... How will we do this? Will we start off with lows and then we can build towards highs so it ends in a positive manner, unlike
I would
anything
prefer
else
that,
in the
yes.
world at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that sounds like
Who wants to go first with our lows of the year?
I'll start.
Oh, okay. You go first.
Well, personally, I gained a bunch of weight at the beginning of this year because that's what happens when you first get married. And then we got dropped from a couple garbage online radio stations. But towards the end of the year, I lost some of the weight, and I really feel like we're like Blaine said, we're everywhere podcasts are. Plus, now we're on Spotify and iHeartRadio, so I think we're going to end up doing just fine. Contrary to some popular belief.
Ooh, Spotify too. That's good. I can put you there.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay.
That's
Well-
the short version for me. I figure maybe everybody can kind of go, and then we'll see what happens.
Then we'll round robin it again.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, let's see. Mine kind of all happened in a lump sum. I ended up. This is what my finger looks like after snapping the tendon in it.
Ooh.
When one of my newfies decided that she wanted to be the new queen of the household and kill the border collie that I've had for 8 years. She didn't get to her. I managed to get her off, but in the process, I ended up snapping the tendon in my finger, and now we have the house sort of separated. They just don't interact. So there was that. That was kind of rough. And then I had kidney stones one weekend.
Oh, damn.
So went to the hospital for that, and I'm in for the hospital for the kidney stones, and they draw blood and all the other crap that they do while you're in. And I was supposed to see my regular care provider on Monday because I was on some meds to kind of keep my hypertensive blood pressure level down. And so she was gonna, check my blood pressure out and see if the meds were working. And I walk into her office and she's like, "So kidney stones this weekend? That had to suck." And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's looking at my chart and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" And I go, "What?" Because you don't ever want to hear the doctor say that.
You're like, it was a really big kidney stone.
She's like, "Why is your glucose 333?" And I go, "I don't know what you mean." And she goes, "Your blood glucose has never been that high." And I'm going, "Okay. So what's that supposed to mean?" She goes, "It means I'm going to stick your finger right now and see if that was just an anomaly." So she did. She goes, "Okay, it's still 287. And I'm like, "Still don't see what that means." And she goes, "You're diabetic."
Oh.
And I'm like, "No, I'm not." Well, yeah, you kind of are. So I got diagnosed as being a diabetic 2 days after the kidney stones, and that was the same day she made my appointment for my colonoscopy. So that was a hell of a 72 hours, kind of just sort of crunching everything all down at once. So
Like a phenomenal weekend.
oh god, it was awesome. Weekend at Bernie's 2 doesn't have anything on this. But yeah,
Interesting thought. That's what you said earlier.
Stuck in every orifice.
man. So anyway, managing the one. I'm pretty sure that the diabetic thing was brought on by the fact that I fractured my hip about a year ago at my very last Spartan race. So all my physical activity basically ended. My regular training, my running, flipping tires, taking a sledgehammer to a tire, that kind of thing. All that went away. Battle ropes, everything. I didn't do anything after I fractured my hip. And I think being sedentary for almost a year is what kind of allowed that to finally catch up and kick in the type 2. It ended up being type 2, not type 1, which is the really bad kind.
Right.
Type 2 you can manage with a lot of, proper diet and exercise. And so I'm back to doing that stuff. I'm back to, hitting my Peloton bike and getting in my road work and that kind of thing. Nothing crazy like the Spartan days, but it's getting back under control. So
Good. Well, glad to hear that. That's a hell of a cheat.
yeah. So that was my nutshell. That was my low point.
Martinez.
Well, I don't know. The whole life's kind of a low point, man.
Oh,
But no, as far as like,
Dang, dude.
hey, man, listen to Blaine's show that I'm on. That gets fucking dark. But anyway, as far as creativity is concerned, this year started off with like a nice creative high, with like nobody really listening to the things that we do, because it's okay, we're just kind of starting. And slowly over this year, it's like definitely built momentum, you know what I mean? So everything's kind of getting better as far as everything creatively. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. That's always great.
Yeah.
I think that's what we all strive for. We all hit lulls and try to kickstart the gears again. I know for me, that was a big thing. Starting writing again was huge for me.
Mm-hmm.
That took a long time.
It's not easy. Just ask Todd.
Certainly not. Todd writes a new book every 3 minutes. He's okay.
He's written one while we've been doing this.
I'm pretty sure it got published while you all were saying that.
It did seem that way for a while. I took a break, getting back to it now, but had to take a break. But yeah, New Year's going to have some challenges I'm looking forward to. So let's hear about Blaine's low points. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I think that hat is one of them.
Yeah. Agreed.
The fact it looks like
I'm
Bellamy
gonna
for
love
Weekend at
getting to meet you
Berlin's.
face to face one day.
All that
Blaine.
unexplored
I'll
wilderness
go
that he
there
was
right
in.
now. What do you want, Blaine?
Oh, please, like you can get out of your damn driveway.
I fucking shoveled it out. I went and bought a shovel. Thank you very much.
What a shovel.
I had to buy a shovel. I never wanted to buy one before. For what? Once a year it fucking snows? Bullshit.
Poor little feller. But anyhow,
Nothing. Hate it.
let's see. Low points creatively. Well, I guess I can come back and revisit this later on, away from this sphere of the conversation we're having. But a lot of crap went crazy with my ability and time to continue recording and producing for the podcast and all. I'm trying to get my feet back under me at the moment. Still moving forward. Was still trying my best for quite a while to keep up with the various projects that we had as far as Tangent City, Orchid Grove, and Chris's thing with Horses of Fury. So I guess the biggest positive for me at this point is getting involved with several other projects here locally. I'll come back and touch on this a little bit later, but it's got to do with another radio station that I think we're going to be able to be found on going into 2019. And yeah, at this point, I'm pretty much seeing no end in sight. So I'm feeling good again.
Good, man.
Awesome stuff, yeah. Low point for me, had a tricky shit in February. No, low point for me, probably being associated with Radio Chaos.
Yeah.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Who's that?
I don't even give a shit. It's like, Don, go fuck yourself. He was a piece of shit, so that was
He's
my
not
low point of the year. No, he's blinded by how much he's masturbated in the last 24 hours.
Well, I mean, I am too, so let's relax there.
It wasn't a judgment. It was just him not being able to see the video.
Yeah,
Right, of
Yeah.
course.
that's what he's up to. It's not like he's got any shows to put on his radio station. He's kind of went in the same route. He kind of picked up that really popular show that's on Mile High, that Dead Air show, and he's kind of ran with it. He's giving it like
Oh, that
18
one.
hours a day. Yeah, just on repeat. So that was
The
probably
one that led into an After My show.
yeah. The one that
Now
played
it's just their entire Tuesday lineup.
the one that
It's
played
really cheap to
during
produce.
yeah the one that played during my show for 4 weeks in a row that they didn't even notice.
Oh, wow.
I just sent them Dead Air, and occasionally I went, "Fuck you." 57 minutes. Fuck you.
You know what's funny is, though, we're living in a time and an era where that, like, if that was a show, people would be like, it's
It
so
would be
ancient,
art.
you just have to appreciate it for what it is.
It would be considered some sort of mystical art.
Yeah,
You become a cult leader, and
it's like a painting that's
See,
white
Drew,
on
you're
white.
onto something.
Shia LaBeouf will be in the movie of it.
Yeah. That's what your next show should be. It should just be Dead Air, and then in the middle of it, just that Shia LaBeouf song, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
I could just be the radio station. That
A
song
random-
on repeat.
That's pretty strong. That should be one of the lineups for Radio Haver. Just one day is a Shia LaBeouf song for 24 hours.
Well, it's
Oh,
not
Well,
like
you
a,
know one person who'd listen.
yeah. And then one person's what I'm aiming for.
Hey, fair enough. I fucking love that dude. I'll watch him for hours. He amuses the fuck out of me.
I think randomly you just throw in "We Built the City" by Jefferson Starship to screw with people's heads.
Hey now, I love that song.
We built this city. Shia LaBeouf.
I think so. That was probably my low point. Was definitely that show we were on with think, well, everyone here was on.
Mhm.
That was the low point for me in the year because it was one of those you didn't know what to do, didn't know how to react. Yeah, it was an odd show to be on. I was trying to be as professional as possible, so if I was the host of that show, he would have been muted about 10 minutes in and made fun of till he left. And that would still have been more professional than what he did.
I still stick by it. I had so much fun.
Now, you loved it.
I loved it. I loved every minute. Well, after the 2 hours that I finally fucking got on, but
Yeah. The 2 hour wait was something.
Yeah, it was.
I don't even think rides at Disney World have that kind of wait anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, who knows? I haven't been there for years.
Universal does.
To be fair,
I have FOMO. I'm kind of upset I missed this infamous show. Really.
To be fair, Martinez just needs to put on a goofy walk and he gets the front of every queue at Disney.
It's true. The people love it. Nobody complains. It's great.
Just need to do a little voice. That's all. Hi. Okay. To the front.
Nelson sounds like it would work. Yeah.
Nelson.
Yeah. It's one of my characters. He's the man-child.
So, creative highs. That should be quite easy.
Well, like I said, I started writing again, so that was nice.
You won competition as well.
Yeah, I won a couple of competitions. I won the LA Comedy Screenplay competition, and then the Northeastern Film Festival Best Unproduced Screenplay category.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Those are both real great. It's especially for me as somebody who's as self-deprivating and as I am, to get your work recognized is it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I'm trying to parlay that into some representation and really get this writing career moving.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you, man.
I guess I'll go next. For me, I mean, there were a few this year because I went into this year, I had just started, I had two authors that had hit me up to narrate their stuff in a genre that I never saw myself being part of, much less almost exclusive to now, with male romance for Audible. And the first one that hit me up, we had a book that got nominated for the Here Now Audible Book Listeners Awards that were held in Kansas this year. We were the only gay romance in the erotica category, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go to Kansas to sit in an auditorium and applaud for a bunch of other people in something that I'm certainly not going to win. So I listened to the broadcast, and we ended up winning the 2018 Audible Erotica Award. So
Buddy.
Yes.
That kind of kicked things off for me, and then I ended up getting a landslide of other sort of the top tier authors in the genre saying, we want you to do all of our stuff. And they had zero Audible presence going into the year. To really help the perspective on it, prior to this genre basically exploding for me, if it wasn't my own books that I was producing that got a good sales bump, the average monthly unit sales were really only about, if I hit 100, that was a special month. If it didn't have one of my own books releasing and it hit 100, that was a good month. And I'm going to break 1,000 this month.
Wow.
I'm already at 700 as of the 10th. So 1,000 is going to be easily, in my rearview mirror. I've been averaging over 600 a month for the last several months pretty consistently, and I just signed the last author that I'm willing to take on. So I'm booked well into next year, and they also all are very prolific. They're putting out each of them are putting out new books every 6 weeks. So yeah, their length is only between 60 to 70,000 words. So they're not, they're not 100,000 word epics. They're right in that sweet spot for your basic, slash romance novel. But they're right now it's the number one selling genre on Audible. Gay romance is the number one genre on Audible.
Wow.
It's like I said, this is not the genre I thought that I would be in. I expected horror or something like that to be where I really found a home. And this has become, I mean, it's a game changer. I hired my wife away from her job. She's got 2 masters, one in forensic accounting and one just a regular MBA. And I hired her to be my producer now. She does all the edits and then hands me my list of corrections at the end of each day because it's the only way I can keep up now. So
That's
yeah.
That's a good year for what I thought you said your high was going to be was passing that kidney stone.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing like pissing a sandbur. So that's always fun. Other than that, I took about a 6-month hiatus from writing. I needed a break. I've been writing nonstop since 2009. I haven't taken a break from writing since 2009. So it was time. So I took a break, and now I'm ready to kind of go back into it. The problem that I'm having is I'm still trying to work out the schedule because I'm spending so much time in production and everything else like that, and narrating, and it's becoming such a moneymaker. I can't not do it. And but I also can't not write because there's part of me that has to be doing that process to keep my brain sort of clear. So I think 2019 is going to be a really good year, both as a writer and as a narrator.
Good, man. Yeah, I hope so. Hope you find more success there.
Yeah. Blaine,
Chris, duke it out.
I'd like to not go first.
Okay, let's see. Most positive things out of this year. First, I think that I finally felt comfortable enough after having met all you guys and gotten a little bit over some of my issues in my head that I was able to feel like I could share some of the writing and stuff, or just the ideas that I was wanting to put pen to paper on and all that. And it seems to have been fairly well received. Really stunned me in a lot of ways. Beyond that, I guess I'm still also kind of freaked out about the fact that people have come to identify not only with the podcast or the brand or anything else and understanding what I'm doing a
Or
little
the
bit
hat.
more. Shut the fuck up, bitch. But just the fact that people seem to actually want to hear something that's a little bit different than what mass media portrays Appalachia to be, or for that matter, what mass media offers, harkening back to what TW said earlier. Moving forward at this point, we've got, some things that I'm really excited about still going in 2019, which once again, I'll talk about later, but got the opportunity to get involved with some more of the local arts here, with some of the performance art, burlesque, dancing, some people that just do some just random stuff in the community. And it feels really good to be in that scene and accepted. So, yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
oh yeah.
All right.
Clean up.
What's that?
I said you're up, Chris.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I think right now Creative High is everything that's happening right now. You know, the podcast was, we've been put on Hollow 9 recently, so we're exposed to some new listeners there.
Nice.
The listener numbers on the original feed is steadily climbing. We're getting from, it used to be from 20 listens in a week, we're getting now closer to 100. So things are starting with that. But number one is my story, Dusty. I actually wrote that like 6 years ago. And it's been on my mind so much, and it's so important to me to be able to share this story. Even if nobody fucking reads it, I just want it out there. So for me to have met all of you guys is actually what made it possible, because Todd here, his wife, is the one who made it available on Amazon, basically, because I couldn't for the life of me fucking figure out how to make the file. You know what I mean? That little thing, it basically just changed my kind of outlook right now. And I'm very excited for 2019 for, like Blaine said, reasons that we will talk about other than that. But as far as creative highs are concerned, fucking Dusty's out. You know? And I'm so happy. I'm looking at one right now. It's got my name on it. It fucking thrills me.
That's awesome.
There's something about that in there.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
What about you, Drew?
For me, creative highs, probably Mind Garden coming out.
Yeah.
Getting such a positive review from most people. Some people were a bit shitty on the reviews. Actually, one of the reviews was quite funny, because one of the reviews was they said that the acting in it was terrible, which I thought was quite I was like, what fucking acting? It was a documentary.
That's funny. That's good. I can't even be mad at that.
That high praise.
Yeah, it's doing well on Amazon. Other than that, Orchid Grove was quite a good high this year. The TFAU became a year old in 2018.
Wow.
Done a lot in that group in 1 year. There's 2 film projects come out of that group, a couple of TV pilots,
Wow, man.
audio dramas, books, whole lot of stuff just from people meeting in that group. So that's been quite good. And then what's going to happen next year with Radio Haver. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my creative highs.
I'm looking forward to being on a real station,
Yeah.
honestly.
It's always a plus, isn't it?
What do you mean by that, Steve?
I mean, if I ask you for numbers, are you going to drop me? Or
I'm gonna tell people that you came at me with your hand out.
okay.
Just lie about you.
Good, because that's what I'm used to. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but when it comes time for like a mid-season hiatus or whatever is going to go on, you guys totally need to stage a thing where you go on to TFAU and ask for the numbers, and then Drew cuts you off and says, "That's it, you're out of here." And then at your time slot, there's nothing but dead air with Drew and a random "fuck you" for that spot for like 2 weeks. You know,
I'll be like, don't cross the line, or the Lynn, or whatever the fuck she's called.
it just feels like, like anything different than that'll be weird.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like eating spaghetti without meatballs.
To be fair, though, a Scottish person's the perfect person to be stingy with numbers, and to be, if you want to go the chaos route, to be a bigot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of perfect. We don't like to pay for stuff, and usually we're quite bigoted. So Scotsman's the perfect radio person to be on the
Just jump
station.
back in with.
Yeah. Ticks a lot of boxes.
That's good. I'm happy for that. Those miserable fucks. And then I know Dave's not here, but Station 9's coming soon too.
Yeah,
I'm looking
Station
forward to
9.
that as well.
That's a good crossover. I think that's a good crossover team. I think both, for looking ahead for 2019, I think you can finally have a version of 2 stations that can coexist and cross-promote, cross-platform each other to the point where both are successful. It's something that I talk about with writers all the time. A tendency in entertainment is to get stingy with your audience. And that is, you want to hoard that audience and not share it with other people. But the reality is, like, for instance, with me, even when I was at my prime and I was putting out a book every 3 months, that is 89 days that is not going to have a new release. My readers were going through my books and reading it in 2-3 days. They would take 3 months worth of work and chew it up in 2 to 3 days and say, when's the next one? Jesus, the ink's not dry, So that's why I would turn them on to other people in the genre that I read, that I found were entertaining and that I thought were good. And that's just it. Is Drew's going to have creative programming, but there's going to be time for repeats and fill and everything else like that. send them over to 9, and 9 can do the same thing with Drew. And there's always going to be plenty of content. We've got enough people in our group and in our union that will produce things that you don't have to hoard it. You know, we can share the wealth and everybody can be happy, you know?
Yeah. I've said to pretty much all the showrunners, if you're on another station, I don't really give a shit. You can even promote it on my station that you're on another one. Because the better your show is, the better it is for Radio Haver at the end of the day.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be great. And when does that come out, Drew?
That comes out end of January. I have the date written down somewhere, but I can't remember off the top of my fucking head. Let me see.
So much for the plug, sir.
Launching, launching.
I've got an unprofessional image to hold up here.
Eyelid. Drew's like, it's sometime in January.
21st.
I've got an unprofessional view to hold up here. Like, yeah, me too. So why was I doing?
I just hope
And
he's
when
not
you,
just
when
like
you-
I don't know what I'm doing.
Schedule done.
Yeah, I'm about as professional as your average hooker.
Well, if she's clean, then she's very professional.
Yeah.
Or
Hey,
he.
Drew, when do you
Yeah,
think you're
define
gonna have
clean.
the first week's lineup ready?
The first
Schedule.
week in the schedule. It starts on the 21st, I think it is, and everyone will be getting well, depends. Some people are given older episodes because they have like a progression on how their show went that they want to start in episode 1. I would recommend to most of the showrunners to give me like a week or 2 behind, so if they have a holiday or something coming up, it there's a couple spare. So just a couple of weeks before the first one goes up is when people need to start giving shows.
Nice. Question: do you take shit shows?
Yeah. My
Alright,
show's
like
going to be
Steve.
on it, so yeah.
Good.
Oh, he's talking to me too, man.
Just checking.
Hey, I've got a question for Blaine. We sort of missed each other this summer. You did a camp this summer back in August.
No,
Right?
I did not.
You didn't end up doing it?
No, that's something to talk about, not on this show.
Okay, all right then. I was gonna say, 'cause if you're gonna do it next year, my offer still stands. So,
Fully appreciate that, sir.
okay. Well, all right then. I'm gonna tune you in so that I know what direction to come at, so I can try to find a way to weasel my way onto one of your podcasts. So. But I got to know the content first. With Drew, you just show up. It doesn't matter, so I don't have to worry about prep or anything. But with you, I want to know what the hell's going on.
There is no prep for anything I do.
There's no prep for a Drew Carson show.
There's no prep for anything I write, let alone a bloody podcast. Research for me is watching Netflix, and then 5 minutes before something needs to get handed in, that's when I write it.
You've referred to some things as two shitter scripts, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
long as
and of course, Steve's all movies and sports, so I'm good for you, Steve. Anytime you end up with an empty space to fill.
Perfect. Yeah. Next time we changed our recording schedule where we kind of bang out 3 or 4 episodes on a weekend and then space it out, so it's easier on us. We don't have to meet up every single week and do it. But yeah, next time I think we're gonna do some overrated athletes. We just did an NFL one, so we're probably gonna do MLB and NBA.
Okay.
No Seahawks are on my list, so don't worry.
Oh, well, that's too bad because I have a few. as a diehard Hawk fan, I have a handful.
Honestly,
But-
I put Russell Wilson there right now. I don't
I
think
put
this
Sean
good.
Alexander there. Russ is the first time I've been happy with our quarterback situation in a long time. So we would have a good spirited debate on that. But
I'm sure.
Sean Alexander can kiss my ass. But
Yeah, it was all about Max Strong and Steve Hutchinson there. I know this is gibberish to most people, but if you listen to our show at Ranting Podcast, you'll see that nothing gets me heated quite like a good sports debate. Like 0 to 60 for me, 2 seconds. That's all it takes.
So Drew, you keep putting musicians up on Terra Firma. Who's some of the? Give us some background on some of these people. Didn't you have a bass player today?
Yeah, he's the bass player for Pariah Soul, who I've got a ticket to go see on the 4th of January.
Oh, nice.
In King Tut's in Glasgow. If anyone's watching this is from Glasgow, fucking doubt it. We've got 2 viewers. They're probably fucking 2 arseholes from another station. They're a kind of cool like rock band, blues band style music. So yeah, I'm only looking for bands that are basically unsigned to record labels. I'm trying to help people get to the next stage of their
I think I've got
career.
one for you that I'll get in touch with you and send you some music on and put you in touch with the singer. They actually are probably my favorite local band, and they played my surprise birthday party this year. Group called Bad Ellie, I think you'd get a kick out of. So, and they've got personalities in every slot. So they would sit down at a round table with you, and it would be a blast. But maybe we can get them to set up in their rehearsal space, and we can get some cameras and some mics in there and everything else like that, and you can maybe host and talk to them and get them to do a couple of songs in their set list.
Sounds awesome, yeah.
So you and I will work on. I'll work that around and start messaging you on that.
You see a lot of shows, Todd. A lot of cover bands I see.
Oh well, see the big thing out here in Portland, there is a very rich tribute band market. I mean, these aren't. You normally go to a club and the cover band plays, a mix of music, but these are all bands that not only go for one specific band, but they go for the look, the sound. I mean, the group Appetite for Deception, which is the Guns N' Roses tribute band here, they were just on a show on Access Television for the world's greatest tribute band. They've been together for 15 years. I may be wrong. It may be longer. But they actually will take a Guns N' Roses set, study the video on it, and duplicate it for their live shows for a period of time, and then they swap it out and do it again. They just finished a whole thing doing their CBGB's acoustic set for a couple of their gigs.
Oh, wow.
It was unreal. And the guy, Mark Thomas, that is the singer, you'd be hard-pressed to not think you were seeing and hearing Axl. The guy that is their Slash is just an epic guitarist. He's done fill-in spots with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, things like that.
Wow.
Super talented group of musicians, but there's this thriving tribute scene out here. In fact, it's something that I want to maybe put for both stations this coming year. There's an event out here. It's called Hairfest, and it's a 2-day music festival of tribute bands. There's usually between 13 to 19 bands that play during this thing. They managed to do swap outs to get the stage cleared and reset in 15 minutes. They've got it so down to a science, but we're talking about an outdoor concert that has 3,000 people in attendance from midday till 2:00 in the morning, where you get to hear everything from Heart to Metallica, Beastie Boys. And it's epic. I mean, it's really, really rich out here. And see, I wrote a book on the scene a couple years ago, because every year I write something that's not related to zombies. And I wrote a book called Tribute after, meeting some of the guys, and I've become friends with a lot of the performers. And it is an entirely different scene. I mean, going to see Unchained, I went to the old Van Halen shows in the 80s. The only difference is that the lead singer is not so falling down drunk that he becomes a caricature of a headliner. I mean, it's just, and you talk to these guys and they basically say, look, we try to give people the memories that they had from that era without the fuck ups, and they have to try harder to sound good, because if they go out there and sound like crap and act like assholes, nobody's going to watch them a second time. But
I'm sure they're all tremendously talented. They actually, Steel Panther actually started as a Van Halen cover band and then morphed into something different. It's
part of the
great. I watched all the live videos that you put up, and they're all like, wow, I could see that, like the Motley Crue tributes and all that kind of stuff. Sounds just like them.
It's a real talented group, and I'm just lucky to have I made a lot of friends when I wrote the book, and it is a real close group, but I'm fortunate to have a really good relationship with the promoter, And I think we could do something similar to the lines of what MTV did back in the US Festival days, where they had camera crews backstage. They did live drop-ins showing, the event itself, crowd interaction, band interviews after sets. I think we could do a full 2 days just blowout of music between you guys' 2 stations. And I think it's something to look into, but it is a very thriving scene out here in the Northwest. The tribute scene is huge out here.
That's pretty cool. I don't see as many of them coming around here.
I think the guy that is the lead singer for the Guns N' Roses tribute band, because of the exposure they got on Access TV, he ended up getting picked up in 3 more groups. And I know he does one out of Texas and one somewhere on the East Coast. So I'll talk to Mark, and if he's ever out anywhere near you, I'll definitely let you know you need to go see him. He's amazing.
Yeah,
and the other cool thing is you can actually go up to these guys after the show and talk to them, and they walk out into the crowd and say hi to everybody. They're thankful that you came to see them. It's not like a regular concert, Right. So the band is accessible big time to the people. So
when you say it looks like Axl Rose, are we talking Axl Rose in the 80s or Axl Rose that looks like he's a beached dead body?
On stage, it's the 80s version. And the really cool thing about Mark, like for instance, 2 years ago at Hairfest, they decided to do the absolute most Guns N' Roses thing they could think of. They played all the hits in the first part, and they closed out with a B-side that most people didn't know, and then walked off the stage. That was their ending. It was, the crowd was like stunned, and then as soon as they realized what they did, they went nuts. But then, of course, they come out afterwards, and they go walking into the crowd, and they're hugging people, and there's a place where you can go get your pictures with the band and everything else like that. But like I said, they really strive to be authentic. So when they're on stage, it's something to watch. The guys that were on stage for Hairfest, the AC/DC tribute band, Shoot to Thrill, Axl, Mark Thomas, came out during Whole Lotta Rosie and joined the band to do that set, because that was right around the same time that it was announced that Axl was touring with AC/DC.
Nice.
Singer. So he came out and did Whole Lotta Rosie with the band. He had the kilt and everything else like that. It was an amazing set. They really threw it together well.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And a lot of these guys, they're full-time musicians all the time. One of the guys that is in 3 of the different bands, he's in AC/DC's tribute band, Bon Jovi's tribute band, and one other. He just got back from Europe. He is the touring drummer for Flock of Seagulls.
Oh, no shit.
He just did a European tour with Flock of Seagulls, and then did a U.S. tour, and it was a big 80s music fest. So there was like Missing Persons was there and all this other stuff. And he's so glad to be home now. We had him over for dinner a couple weeks ago, and he just said, he's like, it was all so much fun, and it's a memory that I've never. He took his oldest son with him for part of the tour, and his younger son with him for another part of the tour. So his boys got to go to Paris and Rome and all these places, and then he got home and came over here for some barbecue, and he was sitting down and he goes, God, it feels good to just be here. But his tour stories are a blast. Just a blast to listen to. So,
oh, I bet.
He's got some that would make Drew blush.
Does Flock of Seagulls still have mad hair? Or are they
no, he's actually bald.
Yeah.
He's actually got a total shaved head now, because probably too much product back in the 80s.
Yeah.
It ran so far away.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's good. I think we have to re-edit that and close the show with that.
Yeah. With a version of the song that's close enough for you to know what it was, but not close enough to get me sued.
Yeah. We're always trying to walk that line with you, Drew.
Yeah. I was offended that I was blocked and didn't even know why.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah, I'm doing a station in the UK on British time, so it's not competition in any way, because British time's when they've got dead air playing. Well, dead
When he
they're
did,
playing
yeah.
all the time, so it doesn't really narrow it down. But you know what I mean. So it's like, how are we competition?
It's a great question. Perhaps we should have some real professionals on and answer those questions. Because I certainly haven't gotten any answers.
Well, that's because you're always walking around with your hands out. Nobody wants to give you anything.
You know what? You're so right. Countless celebrities you've pissed off over the years, have them on. Make it a thing.
Yeah, I could do a Seagal special, I suppose. Talking to him, a friend of mine sent him a Wonder Bra as a birthday present this year.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Oh man, Drew.
Yeah.
This is the reason I hang out with you guys, because I look so good. I'm the only one here who's got prison time, and I look like a saint next to you. Jesus. But
Yeah. It's a worrying thought, that, actually, that it's the nicest guy on the show that's done prison time.
that'll be our new tagline.
You know how people say they listen to shows or they watch shows to feel better about themselves? I get the opposite effect of being on one of these. I feel worse about everything. What am I doing?
Come on. Look, you just got offered the lead in a show that's not even written yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Professional.
For a book you've never even heard of. So I mean,
Yeah.
geez.
For a show, we're going to hit you up to help write as well.
Oh yeah, there's that part. We forgot, Steve. There is that.
Yeah, we're going to do a writer's room situation on it.
Love it. You know,
Yeah.
because I won awards for writing, but it doesn't matter because I'm not professional and I have a shit show. So
Well,
Oh,
you know
you
what?
got a show?
That'll be your T-shirt for this year.
yeah, come listen to us. We're a shit show. That's like Motorhead said that when they were first starting off. Everybody, one newspaper reviewer called them the worst band in the world, and then I think it was Wurzel at the time before he died was like, so everybody turned up to see the worst band in the world. It was the best.
That's awesome.
We should
No.
probably do a show called Shit Show.
Yeah.
Because between us, we must be able to garner like at least 10 listeners every week to a show like that. I'm saying,
That's a lot. Maybe a month.
yeah, maybe do it monthly.
What would we talk about on Shit Show?
Bill movie.
I think we should just replay some of the shows the creator of a certain station did.
Yeah, we could film a television screen showing a sporting event and say that we are filming the sporting event professionally with a webcam on a screen, which is something he did.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I guess.
Or what if we played our own shows and just tore ourselves apart?
Oh yeah, that'd be good. We should do
That's actually
commentaries
really
over
good
our worst episodes.
Right?
That's a
our
good
own
idea.
episodes.
That is actually a pretty good idea. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'll bust out the DMX episode. We can do a commentary over it.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that'd be fun.
I heard, I don't know if I'm really behind
Where
on this,
is
but I
that?
heard he did a Rudolph song, like a Christmas song. DMX.
Yes.
No.
Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Come on! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Oh.
I swear to God, I heard it on the radio and I was like, is this for real or am I like stroking out and this is the last thing I'm ever going to experience? Is DMX going, rah, rah, Rudolph, hur, hur.
Oh
It's
my
got
god!
gospel
Now I'm
album
gonna have to
too.
Google that when we're done.
It's something.
Oh.
He did a gospel album, and
Yeah,
on
right.
the gospel album, one of the songs he dropped the word. Now, this isn't my word. This is his word, which is the word he called me repeatedly on that episode I did with him. He dropped the word faggot in a song on a gospel album.
Wow.
Wow.
It's like, is it a fucking gospel album for Westboro Baptist Church here? What the fuck?
Right? Is X going to give it to, is X really going to give it to you?
Hope he uses lube.
I love the calls on you to do something like that. Like, I get so starstruck. I'm always just like, oh, this is great. This is so much fun. And then Drew's like, you suck. Fuck off.
My problems, I'm the opposite. It's when I talk to people who aren't celebrities that I struggle to talk to them. When I talk to celebrities, it's as if I'm not talking to a real person. I don't know what the fuck's up with me.
I think you got a couple screws loose. I think there's a few we can. That's funny. I always aim to on the few musician episodes we've been able to do of interviews. I've always aimed for the different kind of questions that they'll appreciate, and some of them, just kind of glaze over it, and some of them are actually really cool about it. They'll actually launch into a whole new conversation that I like to think they never had before with anybody. Like I had the McCoys on, Marty McCoy from Boba Flex on, and we ended up talking about shitting on tour buses for about a half an hour. And I like to think that MTV doesn't do those kinds of interviews.
You talk about it for half an hour, or he was talking about how it took half an hour?
We had a hell of a discussion about shitting on a tour bus and how unethical it is, but it happens, and then the strategies for how you avoid that kind of a thing, and then diets and all kinds of stuff. They're great. They're a great band. I love to plug them whenever I can. They're fantastic. Like Todd was talking about them going to the audience after the shows. These guys do the same things. They play Gigantor. They've been around for a long time. They're a great band. I've interviewed a couple of those guys. They're awesome guys. And the Harmony Court interview is in our feed, which is on Spotify, so you can check it out.
There we go. Plug. Do it. Yeah.
Talk about unprofessional. Plugging your
Right. Look at me just
someone
slipping
else's
plugs in there like a dick, like an unprofessional dick.
So I guess
Some stations couldn't afford the rights to play Boba Flex songs, so
Either that or they just ignored them and pirated it and did it anyway.
Allegedly. Because it happened. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Ah, yes.
So I've heard.
This is really just our opinions anyway. You could DM us separately if you want the real truth.
Jeez, where to start?
Oh, he's digging deep.
Actually, first of all, I would like to put out, even though I've done it a few times before, an apology to everyone that got involved with that chaotic mess that we dealt with for a while. And yeah, I slipped up. My bad. I totally own it.
We passed it on that, Blaine. We don't care about that anymore. We're not putting that on your back.
No,
But in as far as the fact that I'm still waiting to get high, for the life of me, I don't understand, Steve, why you keep referencing your lack of professionalism. Because the few things that I've seen you actually reach out to people about seem to be worded very carefully and done in what would be considered a very professional business manner.
Interesting. An opinion.
However,
That's right.
I also understand that it's a two-way street in any form of communication.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's only a mile left to go, there's a line that needs to be drawn. And it doesn't matter. These people apparently do not care whatsoever. And I'll harken back once again to an absolutely nonsensical reference that if you're going to have spaghetti, you can't have meatballs.
Very well put.
Yep.
I would kiss you on the mouth if you were here right now, Blaine.
I believe that.
I believe it.
But no, seriously, screw both Chaos and Mile High.
Well, I just want to be one of the sort of, because all of you guys have shows, you've all got podcasts. I just try to filter in as much as I can to be a part of it, and a lot of it is the support aspect, and part of it is just because I like it. I like doing these bits. I like the performances that we've put on through Tangent City and through Orchid Grove. Those are all things that I'm really proud of. Listening to everybody's, other performances that have gone along, I got to really come to respect people that I hadn't really known yet, and then got to meet, through some of these shows that Drew has put together. Because, that's how I met you, Blaine. That's how I met Steve. That's how I met Chris. It started in some of these shows. I think my first encounter with Chris was during Chaos. So had it not been for that, I wouldn't have ever crossed his path. So everything kind of happens, and it builds what we've got going on. I think that I've every time since the Chaos thing, you've just been so down, and I think that it's something that you need to get past, because we've all gotten past it and have come out of it better because of it. This was a thing that we galvanized on, so it can't be considered bad anymore.
It was our big bang.
Yeah, the event itself might have sucked, and the whole venue and that exploring, going over to Radio Chaos was just that. It was an exploration. It was something that was going to be tried, but it brought out something better from everybody in this group. So instead of you kind of taking yourself apart over this, I think it's now time to maybe step up and realize that what you've done is made us a better group because of it. You owned it. We already got past it when that happened. So we don't, me personally, I don't need you to beat yourself up on this. It just doesn't need to happen. I think that your contribution and part of Terra Firma that you provide, everybody's going to have a decision that's going to go south. That's part of the process. That's part of the creative process. We've all fucked up in our professional lives at some point and made a mistake. It's what we do afterwards. And I think what we've done afterwards and what we're going to do in the coming year with TFAU and everything else with Hollow 9, it only is going to be better because of it. So yeah, that was a sidestep, but it didn't derail any of us. There were some negative aspects to it, but we didn't get derailed because of it. We got better because of it. And out of this, like I said, my first encounters with Chris was through that. So that brought a new aspect into his world and mine. He's
fucking changed my world, man.
Yeah, he's putting a book together and doing something that he's dreamed of, and so those are the aspects that I think you forget when you're beating yourself up, and I don't think that needs to happen anymore. And I think everybody in the union would agree with that. We're looking back at 2018, and we've said that was one of the low points, but it's brought about one of the high points that's going to become part of 2019. And I'm honestly, Steve getting cut off of Mile High is probably the best thing to happen to his show. Because now he's free to do whatever the hell he wants, and he's got 2 stations that'll put his product on without batting an eye. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, we're a tighter group coming out of that than we were before. I've had people who are quiet in the TFAU from posting on a regular basis applaud the way we handled that entire situation, how professional we were. Because we didn't come out in any post and just motherfuck everyone for it or anything. We handled it in a way that we basically got shot at him, and that was it. You compare it to 6 months prior, we probably not a very professional way we handled the whole, I was the moderator at the time, handled the whole TJ Basham situation where Chris Ripka destroyed him on a live stream. Which was funny as fuck, but not professional. The way we handled this one was better. The way the Mile High situation's been handled was incredibly professional. The way you word things, your emails and stuff, I don't see why they had a problem with that. It's a fair question. And it's a question that was asked, 6-7 months ago?
Yeah.
Dave's asked the same question, what's the numbers? I asked the same questions the entire time Orchid Grove was getting played on there. I asked what the numbers were. Bobby kept telling me it was a Lynn question. That's a Lynn question. You asked Lynn, she didn't fucking answer. Because apparently she becomes mute if you ask her a fucking question, even though that's her job, is to answer fucking questions. Well, it is. That's her job. She's supposed to be, orchestrating the talent, but she doesn't fucking talk to you. So that's just arsey. Yeah, so that's why. Was basically why I pulled Terra Firma off of there. Was they wouldn't give me any answers, and I'd noticed ads playing. So my question was, are you making money out of the ads? Didn't get an answer to that, so that was a no for me.
I mean, I'm happy to be gone from both those stations. Like I said, I like to be self-deprecating and make jokes about it. That comes easily to me. So this has just been fun. I enjoy now the freedom to be on the 2 stations that I will really enjoy actually being on.
Ones that will actually treat you like a valued member of the team.
Imagine that!
And I think that's really where our strength has always been. And like I said, I told Drew this, and I don't say this for any other reason than it's the reality of it. I'm a spear carrier. I'm in the chorus. I'm here to do whatever I can do for any one of you guys that are going forward. Whether it's audio dramas, whether it's crap I need a fill-in guest because my other one bailed on me and we're just going to spend an hour talking about whatever. I don't care, because for me, it's just a chance to do something different, because pretty much my day in, day out stuff is really self-oriented. I mean, I'm in a booth by myself narrating audiobooks. I'm in my office writing. This is my interaction, and so doing this, this is my chance to step outside of that and actually be somewhat social so that I don't turn into a total hermit and recluse, I mean, which I prefer, but any way that I can help anybody, because like I said, there's room for everybody's stuff because each of us can only create so much content.
Yeah.
And once somebody's listened to it, they've got all this other time left, So it's not a matter of trying to hold down to a position that I think is mine. I'm willing to play background work for anybody, and in this group especially because I think everybody here has each other's backs, and takes care of each other. And that's, I think, what drew me to this group in the first place. I mean, I met Drew totally at random, just on Facebook one day he made a comment on a post that I was looking at. I didn't know him from Adam. And I just reached out and said, hey, and we started talking. And then I got pulled into a couple of shows with Steve and Dave and Drew. And it's been that way ever since.
Was he trolling with memes on that post? And he found
Probably. He was probably tearing something apart, and I was going, oh, good, finally somebody's calling it what it is. But, and it just, from something so random, it turned into this. And now, I consider Drew a good real-life personal friend. And friends, in my world, friends will do anything for each other. And so once that happened, anything Drew ever asks, I'm down for if it's in my realm. And that extends for most everybody in TFAU, because this is sort of an extended family. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of us that are spear carriers that will pretty much just step in whenever you guys need us. And I just happen to be one of the louder spear carriers.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a community than a Facebook group at the moment.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what's everyone looking forward to in 2019 outside of stuff we've mentioned? Anyone got anything big coming up?
Being a grandparent?
That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's my very first grandchild, so that's big.
Congratulations, yeah.
I'm excited about it. My daughter it's any day now. Every time my phone vibrates, I grab it to see if I'm getting the message that she's, dashed off to give birth to Peyton. But I would say, other than that, I would say that 2019, this is going to be my wife and I's first year in full production mode. So I'm looking forward to see what we can do, because it's a little bit scary. I mean, she's, walked away from a guaranteed income job.
Right.
That was bringing in money in addition to what I was making. And now that's gone, so now it's all just what is being made in this realm. So I'm, there's always anxiety in that sort of step off the ledge kind of thing, but I've got faith in it, and she's the best person I could think of to work with. So because she puts up with all my crap, so that's a laundry list. So, but this is going to be my first full year going just balls out as a producer in audio, and I'm really excited about it.
That's great. Yeah, I'm not doing anything big and special. Joining a couple radio stations I'm loving. I have a few more festivals and things that I'm hoping to get into for the screenwriting, and just continuing forward down that path. And check us out at Ranting Podcast if you like me. And then, quite frankly, my co-host is, my other funnier half. We go back and forth real great on that show. We rip each other apart, and the topics we talk about. It's a fun time.
Yep. And I predict you're going to have something optioned in 2019.
I hope so. I appreciate that prediction.
If your manager's got any balls, then actually,
Yeah.
that's his job. You're definitely going to get something optioned.
Call me. Yeah.
Stop making the crazy eyes, man. They're not going to call you with the crazy eyes.
That's right.
It works for Kevin Spacey, man.
Well, it did.
It did, yeah.
I just noticed this snow globe, Drew. Is that on the TV? What?
That's not a snow globe. He's just happy to see us. Oh.
Sure. Fucking total the place there.
Aww.
Plays a tune, but I probably don't have the rights to it. I'm not that professional.
What, are you high?
Not quite. 3/4 of a mile high, not a mile high.
So other than a line of stocking caps, what are you looking forward to this year, Blaine?
I was going to say, let Chris go first. She's got the book out.
Yeah, that's true. Dusty, right?
Dusty, yep. Dusty just came out a couple weeks ago. Pretty excited about it. And the second one, Dusty Twin Sixes, is available digitally as of 3 hours ago. I haven't actually announced it yet.
Nice, man.
Yep, and the physical copy should be available tomorrow. So
cool.
Pretty awesome.
I think I'm gonna go do some Amazon shopping.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
We've got one viewer, so that's another sale.
There you go. All right. Love that one viewer. But honestly, 2019 is the first year I think in my whole life that I'm actually going into with any momentum. So I'm pretty fucking excited to see what happens. But I also understand that it's gonna be a fuck ton of work for me. So I need to, if I'm gonna have success, it's all on me to do it.
Yeah.
And I need to understand that and get away from my issues and my own anxiety and depression, basically, stuff like that.
Yeah, keep moving forward. Obviously, that's something we all deal with Drew's Mind Garden.
Of course.
That's something we're all battling. So, yeah, you just keep moving forward and keep a positive view.
Trying.
Everybody's got their shit. Everybody's got their shit.
It's very true.
Definitely. And I'll hop in real quickly here just because I don't know how many of y'all know that Chris and I actually live in the same town and have collaborated on a few different projects, but we've kind of decided that we're going to throw our hats in the ring to do the first, well, I don't know if it's the first, Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, but a live show as soon as Radio Haver launches, and hopefully will be picked up by 9 as well. And that is actually going to be a more female-centric view of the world, hosted by Serafina Siren. Chris and I are going to be the co-host. We're doing it in kind of a variety show style, but with a little bit more of a smart-ass punch. I'm sorry, what was that?
She hates that.
Of course she hates that.
She hates variety shows.
But we're going to do it with a slightly different punch and everything. We're going to have some skits here and there. I've got a lot of independent artists that I'm going to be trying to bring onto the show. We're going to have some short interviews here and there that might be 10 to 15 minutes. The show is planned to be an hour long, and it's going to be on Sundays. And I think Drew and I are still trying to figure out exactly the full time frame on it, but I'm wanting to say 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Eastern time for that hour, and I'll assume we'll work out details. So yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Congratulations. That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
And,
looking forward to it hearing on the radio.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be the first live show because I ain't fucking doing one.
Yeah, wait a minute, Blaine. I thought we were talking a half an hour.
I thought it was an hour. Where the hell did you come from?
Fuck if I know.
That's all right. You can be there for half the hour, and I'll hang out for the rest. That's all right.
Dude, you know me. I'll just sit there and bullshit the whole time. It's fine.
It's like all of your other girlfriends. No problem.
You're all right.
What about you, Drew?
Other than the station, not really got many plans. I've got a book kicking about that I need to seriously do a lot of editing on. Other than that, I've got a documentary project I'm going to try and bring out next year as well. So that's a possibly problem, but with the depends how much the radio takes up in my time.
Yeah.
As I said, no fucking live show from me. Unless I can do a show and get away with calling it Cunto or something. Welcome to Cunto.
What you might be able to do from over there.
Yeah, it'd be like bingo for arseholes.
Well, I do actually have some more stuff coming.
Yeah.
In January, Boat Fight, the podcast, will be expanding into the Boat Fight Network. And in the month of January, we will definitely be premiering another show called Monkey Movie Mondays, where myself and my co-host Benny watch different monkey movies and give our opinions on them. And monkey movie is definitely used loosely, so there's that. That'll be a fun show. And then we've got Boat Fight Presents coming out, which was the aforementioned Horses of Fury featuring Blaine there. And that'll be some good stuff. And there's some other shows that I haven't announced yet because I'm doing all the work and they're not done. So look forward to at least 2 more shows on the Boat Fight Network in January.
Nice, man. Now that's a lot. Very good.
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed.
That's good though. You're overwhelmed the projects that you're creating and putting out. That's the best kind.
Well, I'm changing my job. I'm stepping down from my position as manager. I'm dropping down to just 3 days a week, doing some other driving jobs to kind of free up time for me to do editing and writing and things like that.
Awesome.
If you never get out of your driveway.
I'm out of the driveway now. I spent an hour and a half fucking sweating my ass off shovel.
Yeah, you bought a shovel, Blaine. Come on.
A shovel, dick.
Bought a shovel.
You guys could have came and shoveled me out.
Yeah,
What?
Blaine.
Hey, I offered to pick your ass up when you were out of freaking power and shit.
Yeah, but whatever. Not good enough. I want to see you put together the writer's room still too.
Yeah, Writer's Room's a show that's going to come out on the radio as well. So Zomblog's definitely going to be one of the projects we put through that. So we'll be looking to build the team for that one, which might involve quite a few people that are in here, if not everyone in here, plus Dave.
Sure.
Yeah. Might as well bring in the big hitters. That's if Dave's not moved to LA.
Yeah.
At that point, not talking to us anymore.
Yeah, sure.
Hollywood Maresca.
Yep.
Hollow
Legal
Nine
weed.
go the way of the other stations.
Yeah, that's right. Legal weed over there.
That should be a new show on Hollow 9. Legal weed.
Yeah.
Every week
Come
you
on
just
to Oregon.
yeah.
Every week it comes out late or doesn't show up at all.
Like Mile High's lineup.
Oh, was that the guy that came in and started talking like he was a badass?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. That's Diabeto.
Gotta love people that, are tough when they're in their house on the other side of the planet from you.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
We called them cell warriors back in the joint. So guys that with the door shut were all kinds of talk, but as soon as those doors opened, yo, bro, what's up? Hey, man, how's it going? Yeah.
We're like, yeah, keyboard warriors, yeah, and that stuff. And Todd's like, here's a real world reference. Right. Yeah, totally. Cell talk. I was gonna say that too.
Todd's like, you better not fucking drop this out, bitch.
It's on site on the yard, bro. Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'll be that guy that tries to wrap it up because I gotta get up work early.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wrap this up because it's like 3 in the morning here.
I was gonna say, what time is it over there?
3 in the morning. I think I've just woken up upstairs, neighbour's baby, so that's fun. Have fun dealing with that.
Dealing with that. Good luck with your problems.
I'm gonna take a prescribed medication and go to sleep.
Prescribed for someone else. The best kind.
You have no idea what kick it'll be.
From my end, I just want to say, guys, thanks for letting me be part of all this. I'm always available at whenever you guys need, like I said, a fill. I'm gonna start making it a point to listen to everybody's stuff now that I know I can find you guys on things like Spotify and tune in and put you up on my Sonos around the house so I can listen to your stuff. Send me links because I will blast you on all the outlets that I have through the different aliases and names that I go by. So try to drag a couple of listeners in here and a couple listeners in there. But I will start listening. So please send me links and times so that I can support what you guys have got going on, because I think this is a year that we can all own and there's room for all of us.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else saying anything?
Yeah.
Wait,
thanks. This was fun, guys. What do you got? What, Blaine?
No, please go right ahead, Chris.
All right. I love doing this stuff anytime. I love being part of TFAU. Blaine, I'll thank you again for bringing me along for the ride. Drew, for your acceptance. And, yeah, guys, let's rock it, just like always.
Let's do it.
I know that as a group, we are powerful. And we could probably rule it if we want to.
I think we can get that second viewer.
I believe that we will break double digits.
One day, gentlemen. One day.
One day, if we combine our feeds.
If we all watch at the same time.
I can bring 20 people in.
Yeah, we did it. Also, I'm watching on 3 devices.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle
All right, I'll see you guys later. Good talk.
Talk to you soon.
to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open.
I hire people. They do a website. It costs me $3.
I swear I went to another one of these. But fuck it. You came for the wrong people.
This is anti-auto-tune, anti-mainstream, anti-radio, anti-everything you stand for. Yeah, I'm coming for blood. You know what this is? This is murder rap.
We walked through chaos and crossed the knot line, brushed off the cinders from your decreasing show's pipeline. We stayed as professionals, a motherfucker in a Christmas jumper, while you stayed as classy as a mother giving birth to her own brother. You spout your slang about how you're much better educated while looking like a special needs kid with his cock being amputated. So don't step up to the union acting hard with your chin up in the air, or I'll beat the fuck out of you, bitch, and leave you needing Obamacare.
Obamacare. Obamacare.
Never fuck with the wrong man, never fuck with a Scotsman. You step to the curb, you'll get stomped. You step to the curb, you'll get stomped. Stomped.
Obamacare.
I'm tired of these clowns talking it up, trying to run the game. Like to get skin in the game. You ain't got any game. You're fucking insane. You can all talk shit and can blow smoke bigger than Snoop, but the truth is, your content isn't dope, motherfucker, it's poop.
Oh my.
Your keyboard warriors typing, hiding from a real fist fight. Shit in your little panties as we bringing the purge to your door tonight. So run as far and as fast as your motherfucking legs can muster, because kids, we ain't going to go quietly. You fucked with the wrong hustlers.
I'm the main fucking beast, the disgusting freak, raping nuns and priests. Cause I've been violent since the day that I discovered peace. Never nothing sweet, I murder snares and leave the drums to cease. My paint corruption sheets, stab a song and acupuncture beats. You're more than desperate, I forced a weapon in your direction. The force embedded in your intestine, just force and breathless. Now you're stored and kept in my basement cellar that's corpse infested. Born relentless, experimenting with different torture methods. I was rhyming and making features while you were chasing divas. I'm a rapper and great achiever, you can't relate to either. A sacred preacher, I'll take a cleaver, recite your facial features, claiming that you're sick when your pussies couldn't even break a fever. I don't give a fuck about new cars and big chains. You can go to hell with your smooth talk and bitch claims. You should've known by now that my true bars inflict pain. I bring terror to beats when I true sparks and spit flames. My words are wise, I rap hard, my flow is turning tides. You're burned alive, I sip liquor and like my bourbon dry. I spit a verse of mine on the stage with the curtains wide. So quit saying that you gon' murder guys, you wouldn't hurt a fly. I keep the rhythm, the way I kill it should be forbidden. The demon's risen, I'm lawless and don't believe religion. You'll be a victim when I stop creating deep incisions. So get familiar with fish because you're gonna be sleeping with them. This is hip-hop and it has some baggy jeans. This is hardcore, sipping jack and passing weed. This is head knob music with a purple hat. Better put the verses back, this is murder rap.
We need money.
Tired of these clowns talking it up, trying to run the game. Like to get skin in the game. You ain't got any game. You're fucking insane. You can all talk shit and can blow smoke bigger than Snoop, but the truth is, your content isn't dope, motherfucker, it's poop.
Oh my.
Your keyboard warriors typing, hiding from a real fist fight. Shit in your little panties as we bringing the purge to your door tonight. So run as far and as fast as your motherfucking legs can muster, because kids, you fucked with the wrong hustlers.
I'm the main attraction, your brains are bashing until it stains a napkin. I'm bringing what the game is lacking, this is dangerous rapping. Your shameless passion's pathetic, I can't refrain from laughing. If I hear a track, I'm taking action, I'm a trained assassin. I'm in the booth with machetes, razors, and Tommy guns. I only rap over heavy bass and atomic drums. A verse of mine can leave the optics in your sockets numb. We're all born with original sin, so why should I stop at one? This is hip-hop and it has some baggy jeans. This is hardcore, sipping jack and passing weed. This is head knob music with a purple hat. Better put the verses back, this is murder rap. This is hip-hop and it has some baggy jeans. This is hardcore, sipping jack and passing weed. This is
You fucked with the wrong hustlers.
better put the verses back, this is murder rap.
Excellent question.
Fuck yourself, and fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck you as well.
Oh my.